Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Thursday morning. Uh, yeah, it's Thursday. I had to double check the calendar. This week has been chock full of different things. It's March 20th. Did I say that already? And it's 2:50 in the a.m. Maybe I'm getting up too early, and I'm still discombobulated from the week of the rental car and just all the events that have happened. As I shared, I had my car 3 weeks, enough to make one payment, and came out to find it on the sidewalk. Now, I don't park on the sidewalk. As I got closer, guys know my vision is very poor. As I got closer, I saw that some lovely individual had rear-ended my car and pushed it up on the sidewalk, which is easy to do because the car is a little high off the ground. So, one good clip and, you could flip in it. But yeah, I'm driving a rental car. Thank God for great insurance. AAA, I've been with you for over 25 years. Greatly appreciate you. So I had to send that plug out for my auto insurance. I even have a policy for glass, which has a minimal deductible, and the way people do what's called bipping. It's nice to have a glass policy too. And again, AAA, I appreciate you. Let me get into my message for today because, it bothers me a lot. And I need to say I am a magnet for it, and I have very little resistance to it. And that is the spirit of complaint. I periodically share with people that we live and work in a culture of complaint, but very little action towards correcting the issue of our complaint. Yeah. And because I do what I do, and because I present how I present, I'm going to tell people the truth first and foremost. And, that draws people in because they're looking for integrity. So I become a dumping ground. And even when I'm offering solutions, the person doesn't want to hear the solutions. They just want to complain. And I say I get pulled into it because I do complain. And I share my complaints in hopes that something will happen. And because people have adopted this policy of being nice, or not wanting to offend, nothing gets done. See, I'm going to talk about not wanting to offend in a minute. But let me just throw some scripture at you because, it's important to support what you're saying by scripture. So, not as to validate what you're saying, but to look at how you line up with something that you say you believe in. That part. See, most people want to Bible beat people from a position of power and to assume a position of power. I want to highlight scripture. Notice I didn't say Bible beat. To show the standard and to highlight what we need to do to meet the standard. There's a difference between do this or you're going to hell, or this is what the word says, how you living. You notice sometimes I will end my videos with how you living. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to hit you up first with Philippians 2, verses 14 through 16. Okay. Basically says, do everything without grumbling or arguing. You know, and as I think about it, there's an internal dialogue that goes on with you when you engage in grumbling and arguing. Again, it's that position of power. And when you find yourself saying, at least I'm not, you've already know you haven't met the standard, but you're trying to justify your position by standing on an individual's shoulders pretending to be tall. By that I mean that, you know, this person doesn't meet the standard, and this person, because they don't meet the standard, you're better than. There's some comparison, there's some contrast, there's some finger pointing, and there's an air of superiority. And like I said, that internal dialogue must be wicked if you have to use somebody else to be better than. You know, for me, I stand on my own volition. You'll hear me say I messed up, just like you're hearing me say right now. I struggle with complaint. First I attract it, then I'm pulled into the water. And that line from, "Oh brother, where art thou?" The sirens, they seduce me with their song. I'm going to go to James 5:9. This verse warns against complaining about one another. And it reminds us that the judge, that's God, y'all, is observing. Should I say the true judge is observing? The real judge, here comes the judge, here comes the judge. Never mind. Some of you too young to, never mind. I lost it there for a minute. 1 Peter 4:9. This passage encourages us to be hospitable and gracious towards one another. And there's a special clause, without grumbling. You know, if you can't do that, maybe you need to check the company that you keep. See, certain people, if they trigger the worst of my character, if they trigger the negative aspects of my character, I'm headed the other way when I see them. You know, some people, seriously, for me, some people I have to pray when I see them coming, because they are that triggering to whatever it is that I'm wrestling with. 1 Corinthians 10:10 just basically warns against complaining. And talks about the Israelites and what led to some of their destruction, and that was complaining. You know, there's a particular individual that I know that their whole conversation is complaint. And then they'll say something sarcastic, thinking they're witty. And if it doesn't get the proper response, they'll continue to repeat it. It's like, baby, it wasn't funny the first time. and it falls dead. And there's a heavy lack of sincerity in your commentary, and you wonder why people are always, side-eyeing you. What is that spirit about? And do you rebuke that spirit? And more often than not, the individual dismisses that spirit by saying, that's just who I am. But if we go to the spirit of, that's not how you have to stay, or better yet, that is not who God called you to be, then we can get someplace. So I'm saying all this to say is, what's in your spirit? What's your socialization process? What's your culture? And I'm not talking about nationality or racial aspects. I'm talking about where you feel comfortable in. Your social environment as far as culture. What attracts you? What draws you in? What holds you? And are you part of what I like to think of as the Brea tar pits of culture, in that it draws you in, it keeps you stuck, and you become extinct, or you become a fossil?